You're not Steve Rogers.
You're right. I'm not.
Boy, it's a pretty good line. Wish it was in the movie.
You want me? Come and get me!
From the moment Steve Rogers handed Sam Wilson the shield at the end of Avengers Endgame, us the fans, Anthony Mackie, and Marvel all knew that there would be inevitable backlash towards Sam Wilson becoming the new Captain America. And with that pressure, the first Captain America Sam Wilson movie, Brave New World, had to be really good. And it is. But it's not great. And you know what? That's fine. Not every piece of media owes us greatness every single time. But the problem is, Captain America Brave New World has these heights it's trying to reach, and it's not quite hitting them. Somewhere in here, there is a great movie. With Deadpool and Wolverine, I had mentioned that it was an indicator that Marvel could be on an upward trajectory in quality if they kept up with that level of quality filmmaking, right? And with this movie, with Brave New World, it's still a further indicator that they kind of got something going with an upward trajectory. The only thing is, Deadpool and Wolverine had a template, right? With Deadpool and Wolverine, it was okay, write a love letter to the Fox universe, and then play off of the chemistry between Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. Boom, done. Easy, right? But here, they're having to fully introduce a new version of a very beloved character mantle. And it seems like they just didn't quite know how to really do that. That's what this movie feels like. It feels like the fledgling growing pains of a new character. And this movie's biggest problem is that it plays it kind of safe. The story here is a political intrigue plot, much like Captain America and the Winter Soldier, and moreover, it's also a direct sequel to The Incredible Hulk. Yeah, you did hear me correctly. This movie is technically Captain America 4 slash The Incredible Hulk 2, which isn't entirely a bad thing with all the plot threads going on in this movie. It actually handles it pretty well narratively. It's just that for Sam Wilson's Captain America, Anthony Mackie's first lead movie in the MCU, it needed to be more than just good enough. Sam Wilson's Captain America and Anthony Mackie in general deserved just a bit more. And well, you can tell that it definitely wants to be more with this lofty speech near the end about what it means to be Captain America and these themes about patriotism and how it can betray you sometimes. If you want to have themes like that, that's all well and good, but you gotta really bring it. And this movie just doesn't, at least to the extent of what that narrative deserves. Now, I understand that it's sounding like I didn't like this movie. I did. I really liked it. But the execution of the narrative holds it back from being a great movie. Despite that, though, the details surrounding the execution of the narrative are thoroughly good. Every performance in this movie is excellent. Each performance is their own art. It was really that good to me, every performance in here. Especially Carl Lumley, who plays Isaiah Bradley in this, the original Captain America. He's a character that is a carryover from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Isaiah Bradley was a soldier in the time of Steve Rogers that was first given the super serum, and he was experimented on for decades and decades to kind of fine tune the super soldier serum. And he kind of resents his country for that. And he comes back here, and something happens that is out of his control, and he's once again being looked down on by this country that he fought so hard for. When the performance calls for Carl Lumley to really showcase how Isaiah Bradley should feel about that, he pulls out every bit of heart that he has. And I felt so bad for him. And honestly, I'd have to say he's probably my favorite performance in the movie. there are a couple of characters in here with tragic backstories, him being one of them, and I really felt like this movie respected those backstories. Anthony Mackie in this movie, I can't see how anyone can look at this movie, watch it, and still seriously say that he's not Captain America. Falcon and the Winter Soldier gave us a hint at how Anthony Mackie could be a superhero leading man, right? It gave us a little taste of that, and he was very good, and he's really excellent here. He has this leading presence. The only problem is that the execution of the story doesn't really let that shine through for the character, but the performance shows that he can definitely pull it off. At this point, Sam Wilson in the MCU and Anthony Mackie in general have earned this shield, and I won't hear any different because by this point, it's settled. He is Captain America. The action in here is also pretty good. I'd say for what an action movie should be, it's pretty standard. It's okay. The Marvel-y superhero-y action is better than the more grounded fighting hand-to-hand action. So what's really odd here is they're trying to make the hand-to-hand combat more realistic, a bit more grounded, because Sam isn't Steve. He's not a super soldier. He's just a guy. He's just a military guy that, can fight. But they try to make it too realistic because, Steve was throwing tables around and kicking dudes midair and everything, and Sam can't really do that. And it seems like it was just awkwardly coordinated and kind of badly edited too. It didn't really feel that exciting. The opening sequence is a lot of it, and the opening sequence is a rescue mission done by Sam, and the sequence itself is good, but when he starts fighting dudes hand to hand, it just doesn't look that great, and it didn't really engage me. But when it gets to being superhero action where they're flying around everywhere, and they're deflecting missiles and stuff, fighting these fighter jets that are being mind controlled by this song, it was really cool stuff. And what was especially great was the Red Hulk fight. I kind of wish that it wasn't shown to death in the marketing, because you can tell that it was written in a way that when it happens, you're supposed to be like, ooh, what's happening? What's going on? And I mean, throughout the movie, the way Thunderbolt Ross is acting, you could kind of gather what's happening, but you could tell that it was supposed to be a big gasp moment and really be a surprise. It's supposed to be the surprise of the movie. And it was marketed to death, so you're just waiting for it to happen, right? And that was another big hit towards this movie, is that you're just waiting for the big fight scene to happen, especially because you just saw it so much. You're just expecting it. And that was a big bummer. But the fight itself was really exciting, and it's some of the best stuff of the movie, which you'd want it to be. It's, the climax. But it was really cool stuff. I wouldn't say it's the best fight in the whole MCU or anything, but it was cool, especially in a movie that was kind of, dry and political thriller, right, for so much of it, and then you get this big, silly comic book action moment. It was kind of cool and refreshing. It was like there was life, by that point in the movie. Well, the movie has life anyway, but there was just a jolt more of it. I don't know, man. I just had a really good time with this movie, for the most part. Bottom line, don't listen to the negative reviews and press that this movie's getting, because I personally believe we just live in a time of just fake outrage. Everything either needs to be super, super great and perfect, or the worst thing that's ever existed. And this movie is neither of those things. And sometimes a movie, a book, a song can just be that. It can be just good. It can be just okay. And that's what this movie is. It's okay to good, and it's worth your time to go see it in the theater. So if you saw the trailer and thought, hey, yeah, I might be interested in that, then you'll have a great time. But that's enough for me. What did you think of the movie if you saw it already? How do you feel about the MCU right now? Are you going to go see this at all? Do you feel like Anthony Mackie is deserving of the mantle of Captain America? Let me know what you think. Be civil, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.